Welcome to the Cayman's Island podcast where we talk all things San Francisco 49ers. I'm your host, David Cayman, and for today's show, we're going to get into something that I've been asked by a lot of Niners fans to do. I've received lots of suggestions for different ideas related to this topic, but today we're going to do a little bit of Throwback Thursday. Let's get it. Now, when I was coming up with the idea for this particular segment, I solicited a lot of feedback, received a lot of good ideas from folks about their most memorable moments, their greatest memories ever being a 49er fan. And when I started thinking back myself and started getting some of these ideas from different fans of the franchise, it really gave me a renewed appreciation for just how many great moments we have throughout 49ers history. The fact that we've been blessed enough to have a Joe Montana and a Steve Young, a Jerry Rice. The list goes on and on of Hall of Fame 49ers and different playoff comebacks that we've had and so much playoff success and different ways that we've won very big games. I know a lot of people may not like this, but today I actually plan on getting into really my most memorable moment, which is probably the most somber sports moment in my fandom of any team that I pull for. But just to give you a little bit of background about my fandom, growing up in my preteen and teen years, growing up in the South, every opportunity you get, you were outside playing football, right? As soon as from dawn to when them street lights come on, you were outside playing, and we predominantly played football every single day. And it was really my childhood friend that really pushed my fandom to the 49ers, in all sincerity. In the early 90s, my childhood best friend, huge Dallas Cowboys fan, right? So every time we would go play football, he's the running back, he's Emmitt Smith. He's the wide receiver, he's Michael Irvin. I always played the quarterback position whenever we played football. And during this time, really, I did some middle school football. My mom watched a lot of football. She was a big Falcons fan. That was our local team. I know what you're thinking. The Falcons. Bless her heart. Love you, Mom. Mean it. He really pushed my fanhood. My childhood best friend really pushed my fanhood over the top because he recommended to me that I should take a look at the 49ers because of the quarterback at the time, which was Steve Young. I also think it had a lot to do with a lot of childhood rivalry, best friend rivalry. At the time, the Cowboys had our number there until we finally broke through and got that win over them and got that Super Bowl over San Diego, in which, of course, Steve threw six touchdown passes, which I don't see that ever being broken in my lifetime anyway, but we'll definitely see. But maybe Brock Purdy will do it one time. Anyway, so I wanted to get back to really explaining that when I started watching the 49ers, again, the Falcons were the local team, and I'm not certain if anybody even remembers this, but at one time, the Falcons and 49ers were in the same division. So being the local team, I would get to see on television Steve Young play the Falcons. And, of course, the 49ers were a very good team. They were on TV a lot. Now, I really started watching Steve Young, man, and it was like, wow, this guy is legit. In a league where there were a lot of, in-the-pocket passers, his ability to be a dual threat, man, and his accuracy, it was just like, man, I was hooked. So from then on, I've been a big 49ers fan. So now that I'm a Steve Young baby, and where I really started watching the Niners, and I've already alluded to the fact that I'm going to talk about one of the most somber moments. And again, for me, the most memorable moment for me in 49ers history was on September the 27th, 1999. If I'm not mistaken, we were up 17-0, and it was 30 seconds left before halftime. And for whatever reason, we're trying to run the score up, and Steve drops back to pass, man, and Aeneas Williams on a quarterback blitz takes Steve Young out. When I say out, guys, Look up on YouTube the clips of when Aeneas Williams hit Steve Young. It is nasty. Steve was asleep on the field. And with his history of concussions, even though Steve was a tough guy, man, with his history of concussions, I really felt in my spirit. I remember this like it was yesterday. I remember taking a deep breath and coming to terms with the fact that was more than likely the last time I would see Steve Young play football. And sure enough, it was the last time I seen him take a snap. Again, I know out of all the different memories and all the different moments I could bring up, that's a tough one. In all sincerity, guys, for me, it's the moment when I realized that my football hero would not play football anymore. And I wanted to make sure that this being our first Throwback Thursday show, that I gave some background about my fandom. I even actually had season tickets for the Falcons. I had some really good seats, a pair of seats in the end zone where I would get to go each year and see the 49ers play in Atlanta. And I've got some really awesome memories that I could share with you from some of the games that I saw live. And we'll get into those in future shows for sure. But for me, that's the memory that sticks with me the most. Feel free to comment on some memories that perhaps you remember, or maybe tell me where you guys were at. If you remember that moment, what you guys were doing. If you were watching the game live, or maybe missed the game and heard about it through ESPN or something like that. Let me know in the comments what you think. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed what you saw today. Y'all take care.